Shalom, welcome to the Jewish Task Force, JTF. This is Chaim Ben Pesach. Peace Now, a radical left organization of self-hating Jewish traitors, attacked our forum and our website last week. And our forum and our website was down last week for 36 hours for two reasons. Number one, because we're getting so many new members, and so many new people are coming to the English language forum and to the Hebrew language forum, because we have a forum for Israeli Jews in Hebrew, and we have a forum for Americans in English and for other English-speaking people around the world. And we also have an English language website and a Hebrew language website. And so many new people are coming that the server, we were on a shared server, and the server just crashed because we had just so many new visitors coming. In addition to that, at the same time that we were being overwhelmed by new visitors because our movement is growing so quickly in America and in Israel, at the same time, Peace Now, this radical left organization of self-hating Jewish traitors, attacked our forum. So we already had a forum that was burdened, the server was already overburdened, but then in addition to that, we had an attack from Peace Now, radical left self-hating Jewish traitors, and they flooded the forum and made the problem much worse. So the server crashed completely. Anyway, the bottom line is for 36 hours we didn't have a forum or a website. Baruch Hashem, thank God, we got it back up, and now we're on our own exclusive server. We have our own dedicated server, so we're not sharing it with anybody else, and so we can take on a huge number of people now, so we don't have that problem anymore. In addition to that, we have put in place major new security measures. We have a software and hardware firewall system of protection that is very, very effective. That's the most up-to-date system of protection. So it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to take down our forum and our website in the future, even though Peace Now has been trying again. They've been trying once again, but they haven't succeeded because of our firewall protection and because we're now on a dedicated server. But let me explain to you what Peace Now is and why they view us as such a threat. Peace Now is an organization that favors the destruction of the state of Israel, the destruction of a Jewish homeland. These are self-hating, radical left Jewish traitors who come from families of Jewish communists, Jewish Marxists, Bolsheviks, who never really believed in a Jewish homeland, who always hated Judaism and the Torah, and were never really Zionists. These people control the Israeli news media, completely control the Israeli news media. These people control Israel's multinational corporations. Yes, the big so-called capitalists really have a Bolshevik attitude because, capitalism, this idea that capitalism and communism are separate, that's not necessarily true. Big-time capitalists, monopoly capitalists, billionaires want socialism because socialism prevents competition. And so they are the billionaires that run Israel's multinational corporations. They're a handful of families. They control the majority of shares on the Israeli stock exchange. They run Israel. They own most of Israel. And they believe that it's bad for business and bad for everything else that we have a Jewish state. They think it was a mistake to create a Jewish state. It's true that the Muslims have 65 Muslim states, but they believe that just one tiny Jewish state for the Jewish people is too much. They don't want us to even have one tiny Jewish state. They want to dismember Israel piece by piece because they think that that will improve the business climate for the multinational corporations. They'll be able to have better trade with companies in Europe and elsewhere that are anti-Semitic and that demand that Israel commit suicide. And there are a whole variety of reasons why these sick, evil, self-hating Jews want to destroy the 4,000-year-old dream of the Jewish people to return to the land of Israel. But the bottom line is they completely control everything in Israel. They control the police. They control the army. They're the generals. They control the government. They control the major political parties. They even control the minor political parties. They control the courts. They completely control the news media. They're the owners of the news media. And so they're trying to dismember Israel. The only problem they have is that the vast majority of Israeli Jews don't want to do it. And so they're trying little by little to push through their evil scheme even though the majority of Israeli Jews really don't want it, and if Israeli Jews really knew the full extent of what these people want to do to the Jewish homeland, they would throw these pigs out, which is what should happen to them. They should be thrown out. They should actually be put on trial for high treason. But anyway, they put together an organization 25 years ago called Peace Now, and they have other radical left organizations called Gush Shalom, which means the Block of Peace, Peace Now, B'Tselem. These are radical left, anti-Zionist organizations that completely support the Arab Muslim Nazi campaign to destroy the Jewish homeland. What a miracle. Israel exists even though the leaders of Israel, the rulers of Israel, and this is the truth, don't want a Jewish state. Don't want a Jewish state. They want Israel to go back to the pre-1967 borders that are only 6 to 10 miles wide, which Abba Ibn, a radical left foreign minister, once called Auschwitz lines. They want to create an independent PLO Hamas Muslim Nazi terrorist state in the heartland of biblical Israel, in Judea, Samaria, the Gaza district, with Jerusalem as its capital. They want to create the 66th Muslim Nazi terrorist state in the heartland of little Israel. And even in pre-67 Israel, they don't want a Jewish state. They want what they call Medinat Kol Ezracheha, a state of all of its citizens, where Arabs and Jews and everybody will live with so-called equal rights, which means that Arabs can come into Israel the same way Jews can. And of course, the Arabs, there are 500 million Arabs in the world, and there are only 5 million Jews in Israel, so the Arabs will immediately overrun and overwhelm Israel. That's the end of the Jewish state. And so this is why all of these terrible things are happening in Israel, because of this traitor leadership that has betrayed the Jewish people, that for a long time now has given up on the idea of a Jewish state. They just think it isn't worth it. Why go through all this? The world hates us. The world is against us. The Arabs want to destroy us. We live in the middle of the Arab world, in the middle of the Muslim world. The Muslims have 99.9% of the Middle East. We have just 1/10 of 1% of the Middle East. We have no right to be here. The Muslims have a right to everything 100%, because the Muslims claim they have a right to 100%. No non-Muslim has any right to anything in the Muslim ideology, in the evil Muslim ideology. And these self-hating Jews figure there are 1.5 billion Muslims in the world. If you can't beat them, join them. We don't have to become Muslims, but let's surrender the Jewish state and Jewish sovereignty, and let's end all of this. We, Hayamin Ha'amiti, which means the Jewish right in Israel, which is the name of our organization, the Jewish Task Force, JTF in Israel. We are threatening their entire plan, because we are reaching thousands of young Jews with our message that it is worth fighting to save the Jewish homeland, to save the 4,000-year-old dream of the Jewish people, that this is insane. This national suicide that they are proposing, that they're trying to shove down our throats, is insane. We have to resist and we have to fight. When they want to surrender Jewish land, when they want to throw Jews out of their homes like they did in Gush Katif and northern Samaria, we have to block it with our bodies. And we are convincing thousands of young Jews, including many non-religious, even non-religious Jewish youth. Obviously, the religious Jewish youth are even more enthusiastic about our message, but even many non-religious Jewish youth are interested in our message, and many are joining our forum, and many are joining our movement, and they see the threat. They understand that we're reaching people with this message. And so they have decided to target us and prevent us from becoming a mass movement. We're going to give you a quote from them on the program, on the next program. This is part one. We hope you'll come to part two of our program, because part two, we're going to give you a quote from Peace Now to show you just what a threat they consider us to be. And so they came onto our forum, our Hebrew forum, and they flooded the Hebrew forum with emails, with all types of messages. They attacked the Hebrew forum, and that plus the fact that we, in any event, were being overburdened because as our movement is growing so fast, the forum and our server crashed completely. They're trying to stop us. They're trying to silence us through crypto-fascist tactics that the Gestapo in Nazi Germany would be proud of. These so-called progressive forces of democracy have always been hypocrites and frauds. The left have always been Nazi-like frauds, liars, and cheats who employ Nazi-like tactics against their opponents. That's what they did with us, but they're not going to stop us. We're getting stronger because of them. On the second program, you're going to see how it backfired and how our movements in America and Israel have gotten stronger because of this. Make sure to tune in for part two. We'll see you on our forum. Shalom.